entire year. It's actually a one-day price. And here's what we love. It is from one of the premium global leaders, pioneers in sewing. It's Janome. They were founded in 1921. Do you know Janome actually pioneered several innovations in sewing? And we have the perfect, easy to use, and incredibly versatile, and listen to this, computerized system. It is available right now as our one and only Today Special of the year. Mr. Jennifer Tryon is joining me. She is one of our sewing masters, just a creative brilliant. Make sure you look at all her blogs. She does tons of videos. She's a very busy woman. I'm so excited because not only do we have a great machine, but guys, for the price of an old cranky one, you're getting now computerized.
Not just computerized, but customizable. When you are opting for a computerized sewing machine, trading in the old knobs that, you know, maybe you had one and you pulled it out of the back closet somewhere, or maybe your mother-in-law had one and you got to borrow it. But you know what? I don't want you to fear something that's computerized. Look at this. On this ribbon, I'm doing Happy Birthday Ruby. Ruby's my daughter. And just to be able to, I'm gonna just press the stop button here, because yes, you can use the foot pedal or the stop start button, but being able to do something customizable, like wrapping a gift with the person's name right on the ribbon, you don't have to pay anything extra for that. That's just a little bit of thread that you customized on a plain store-bought ribbon. You know, being able to upcycle things, being able to use things that you already own or purchase, and just be able to make your own and do that sort of Happy Birthday Ruby, or being able to—
so personalized.
Yeah, to be able to customize ribbon, to be able to customize your cuff of your sleeve, to be able to, I mean, honestly.
The edge of a pillowcase.
Oh, I love, the
so
ideas are endless. I love that. With the linens, you'll be monogramming everything. This is the Janome Mod 200. The 200 means 200 stitches.
Wow.
That's how many you're getting with this machine. And I don't want you to worry about the computerization. We're gonna go on a little tour of the machine in a minute, but take a look at all of the beautiful stitches that you're getting here. A lot of them you're gonna look at and go, I'm not sure what to do. The manual coming with it, it's gonna show you all kinds of, you know, beautiful sewing techniques that you're gonna be able to do, including those alphabets, double-sided, beautiful little things that, you know what, like everything from zigzags and stars to little scissors and thread spools, kittens, stars, school buses, you name it, it's in this machine. And the stitch chart just fits right up here. And if we go on a little tour of the machine, Suzanne, you're gonna see what I've been working on here. Yes, remember I could press the stop start button if I wanted to not use the foot pedal. And if you had a little one on your lap, you could use the speed control, and see how that's gonna slow things right down. So if you were doing something a little tougher, where you were turning or you were teaching—
or you're just starting.
Yeah, you're learning, or you're teaching someone to sew, or if you're on a straightaway and you want to go full tilt, what I want you to see here is this machine is going about 1,000 stitches per minute.
Wow.
It's not bouncing around the table at
It's not
all.
jiggling.
It's not jiggling. You want to know why? All metal parts. Wow. The only plastic that you're seeing on this machine is just the outer shell. Even the stitch plate here is metal.
And I got to explain, that's a really big differentiation.
Yes, it is.
How many of you have it? And it's probably true, was last time you got a sewing machine and you've got one that's a dial up. The problem with dial is they're not accurate, they're not consistent, and they're limited to a couple of stitches. And then you don't know how to get to the other stuff. You're like, I don't know how to do a zigzag. With digital, here's what happens when you have computerized. All you do is you look at the number, stick it in, and boom, it does all the work for you. So what happens is, even if you're just saying, I've never bought a machine before, or you've got an old dial machine and you're like, man, I haven't had that out in forever, or you're kind of sick and tired of being so limited by it, this is the amazing upgrade. And I've got to tell you, the price is out of this world. It's so funny, they were giving us our notes before I went on the air, and they're like, do you understand this is a fantastic deal? That's not Janome saying it. It is all of our team here, and it's true, because you get computerized, you get ease, you get incredible versatility. It could be your first machine, it could be your 5th machine, because you've got an old one and you really are ready to upgrade. If you want to get someone into sewing, it's a great machine for that. And I love the fact that you have so many things you can do with it, from home decor to just him and the pair of pants have been sitting in your closet forever, or that skirt that you've never taken to the shop and you're going to spend 50 bucks to get it hemmed.
100%.
Do it yourself.
100%. And you know, I know a lot of the crafty people who are watching today are all about card making and scrapbooking, but you're going to be going from hemming the pants to doing that home decor stuff to using your Janome on some of your scrapbooking pages, on some of your card making projects. Look at just adding the stitching in with my inks, your watercolor, you know, from Crafter's Companion, you could do that, and adding the thread just for that extra texture. Oh, and adding that zigzag stitch rather than the adhesive, or add that, you know what I mean, just as that little trimmed out. I'm gonna show you how you can choose that stitch and sew on paper as easy as you can sew on anything else. So if we're continuing our tour around this machine, we talked about the speed control. Let's talk about how we're choosing a stitch. Because with the old knob machines, you'd be turning the button. Here, what I love about a computerized machine is it's gonna choose the optimal stitch length and stitch width for you. You actually need to know a little more about sewing to use the machines with the knobs.
Oh yeah,
the computerized
I could never
machines
get the length and the width
really
right
help.
ever. I
They
could
really
never get
help.
that right.
So if I'm wanting to choose the zigzag stitch, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna know, oh, it's number 7. So I can go over to my toggle here and go up to stitch number 7. And then you've got your stitch width and your stitch length optimized for you here. Now you can make it longer, you can make it wider if you like, or you can use it as is. And as easy as this is get your paper down here, and instead of using adhesive, we'll put a little zigzag stitch, and we can slow down or we can go fast, and not having to glue that, and that extra texture is what really I love. Now, I wanna put the needle down. I've got a needle down button. So if I wanna take that corner, I can leave the needle down and pivot. Off we go.
That's great.
Just adding this kind of texture to your projects. Needle down, press that needle down button, press our foot up, and we can pivot. And this is just gonna allow you to get a little bit more out of your machine. Now I'm running over my picture here, so I'm gonna keep going up.
I just think this is so clever. And guys, when you add thread and texture to your scrapbook pages, your cards, it changes everything. Also, it's great for those of you who love vellum, but don't know how to attach it.
Exactly. And just to be able to add that little extra bit of texture, and then we could frame it out with a photo on your cards, attach a little bit of ribbon, do it on the edge of your photo.
Can you, wait, hold that shot, guys. I'm gonna hold this. Could you grab the cards right to your right? You know, over there.
Oh yeah.
You've got to show this, you need to get this just to do this project. These are so cute.
So I love this for a birthday card, for a Valentine's Day. Just being able to take some scraps of fabric.
Love that.
Right?
It's so
That's
cute.
all it is scraps of fabric and just some little extra stitching, a birthday card.
Look at the zigzag around the edge.
Yeah.
Look at this cake, you guys. That's little pieces of fabric, or could be paper for that matter.
Well, it's just little pieces of fabric.
And that's almost like free drawing, but you're using thread to do it.
That's exactly right. You're using the thread to draw with, and you're doing that in what's called free motion quilting. And you can do that on here by lowering the feed dogs. Now, that might sound a little bit advanced, but once you've got the Janome at home, you're gonna be able to go down this big rabbit hole of possibilities. So if we're going through the machine and we're choosing our stitch, let's think of some of the other amazing things we can be doing, because we can be going from something like Pinterest, like our cards here, over to something uber practical, like hemming our pants. So I'm gonna come over here and go through some of the feet.
And then after that, I would love to show them everything they get in the
Let's do it, let's do it. Because one of the feet that you're getting is the blind hem foot. And if you've got a sewing machine in the house, there's no reason to be taking your pants to the dry cleaners and spending $30, not in this economy, when you can be doing it yourself. Part of what is coming in the kit is the blind hem foot. And if you look in the manual, it's gonna show you exactly how to fold your pants so you can get this. this stitch correct. So when you're changing the presser foot, there's a little button right here. They just pop right off like this, and then you can attach your new foot. And they just snap right into place. See how it snapped right on? And now I can go ahead, just like I did with that zigzag stitch, and choose one of the blind hem stitches. They'll point it out which ones they are in the manual, so you don't need to worry. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose stitch number 15. And now, or 13, and I want you to see something on here, if you can see the screen. And this is the beauty of a computerized machine. It's telling me, so if you're new to sewing, or even if you're not, and you're wondering, okay, is that the right presser foot? It's showing you presser foot G is the right one to put.
Oh, that's great.
And all of the Janome feet come with a little embossed, so there's G. You know, if you're using stitch number 13, this is the right presser foot to be using, and you can just snap it right in place. Janome has sort of a mantra that they live by: ease of use. They really want things to be easy. So when you're looking at your manual, when you're bringing your machine home, you're gonna really discover, like, actually, you know, they've sold over 100 million machines. They couldn't be doing that if they weren't doing something right, if it wasn't easy enough to do. So I'm lining up my pants, you know, regular pants, need a little hem, and off we go with that blind hem stitch.
Okay, let me kind of give everybody an update too, because I knew this was going to be a very popular and fun today special. Here's what I want you to do. The deal is only good for today. Right now, you're going to be saving a ton of money. Normally, this is almost a $500 machine, and it's Janome. They're one of the global leaders. They're super pioneers. They've been around for a long time. They just make beautiful quality machines, right?
Yep.
But the deal is only good for a single day. So instead of $500, we're at $379.95. Remember, you're going to be able to do the alphabet. So if you kind of want to play in that world of monogramming or personalizing, it allows you to do that without having to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a machine for that. If you want to do a great good old straight stitch, there's so many fun projects I do, because I'm the queen of the straight stitch, that you can do with this, but it's not intimidating. I think this is what this does, is it allows you in a very easy way and a quick way and really accurate way, because it's computerized, to be able to do a lot of stuff you didn't think you could do. And you're like, oh, I can't sew. No, you just need the right machine. And this one's truly it. Now, how can you put it in your pocket? All right, here's what I suggest. Right now, we have 5 flex pays. If you have a major credit card, it's going to be $75.99 over the next 5 months. But because of the price point, this qualifies for VIP financing. Hello. So if you get your HSN card out, you're going to get 12 months to pay it off. No interest charged as long as you pay it off in a year. And it's $33 and some change to get a brand new Janome machine home. Now, this is also an exclusive configuration. So if you don't mind, Jen, can you go through exactly everything they're getting up front?
Yeah, I want to show you this, because what you're getting when you get this home is going to allow you to really grow as a sewer. You were talking about being queen of the straight stitch. That's where we all start. Yep. But you're also getting in your kit here the zipper foot. You know, this is the seam ripper. I'm going to put the zipper foot. This is the foot that you're going to use. You'll see they've got all the little letters on them. That open toe clear foot, that's gonna let you do those alphabets and all the decorative stitches. This is the one I was just using, the blind hem foot. This foot here is the edge stitching foot. What this is gonna do is allow you to finish your seams like a serger does.
Ooh,
yes, that's foot's huge. Beautiful. Yes, exactly. And then you're also getting the regular zigzag foot. You're getting an extra pack of needles, 3 extra bobbins, the cleaning brush, the seam ripper, and you know, those are the things that you need to grow as a sewer.
And the hard case.
I love the hard case. We saved the best for last, because this is gonna allow you to travel with your machine, or if you're just, you know, getting to it here and there, it's to keep it covered so the dust stays off of it. And you know, I always tell people, if you can leave your machine out and threaded, you will use it more often. You'll run and quickly do those repairs, quickly hem those pants, and you can put that hard cover on it, and it always is staying safe and dust free. You saw me before when you were talking, I started hemming these pants. I wanted to show you. Now, I did this with white thread. You will do this with black if you had a pair of dark pants like this, but this is that blind hem. that allows you to perfectly hem your pants without seeing it on the front. Now those little white tick marks, you'd have black thread. I did it in white so you could see it. But these are the kind of practical things that you're gonna be able to be doing along with all of the Pinterest projects, along with all of the fun, you know, card making and scrapbooking, all that extra texture, you know, hemming the pants. And this time of year, I brought this ratty net because, you know, this is the kind of thing where you're like, well, can it really be heavy duty? Yeah. Can it really go through all kinds of layers and different kinds of things like that? This is an all metal machine on the interior. That's what's brilliant about all Janome machines. They're all metal on the inside. The only plastic here is, you know, the beautiful outer casing. So I'm gonna put on my regular foot here. It's gonna snap right in, and I'm just gonna, this old, if you had a hole in the net.
And then you're going, oh, I got to throw it out and I got to buy a new one. And how much is that going to cost you?
You know what? I'll say this about COVID. It did teach us to be more self-sustainable. Yeah, you know, mend and repair. We don't always have to buy new. Okay, let's go through this again because we're operating under like a mode system here. So if I'm looking at my stitch chart, in mode 1, I've got all of these practical stitches up top here. Your straight stitch, your zigzag stitches, the heavy duty triple stitch, all of those blind hems. Then you come down, you've got all of those 7 buttonholes if you're into garment making. You've got a whole row of applique stitches if you're into quilting. And then all of these heirloom and decorative stitches. And then we're getting down into the alphabet. So if you're wanting to put a quilt label on something, or if you're wanting to, maybe you're making linen napkins and you want to Merry Christmas 2025.
Cute, yeah.
You can monogram those yourself, and you know, the stitches don't end. Beautiful decorative stitches. And also you're gonna get a lot of lettering. So if you've got a name that has an accent, you can do that with this machine. And all you're gonna do is make sure that you're in the mode where your stitch is. So if I'm wanting to do something heavy duty, like fix this net, I could go into mode 1. So just by pressing the mode button, it's gonna light up what mode you're in. So in mode 1, I'm gonna choose the triple stitch, which is number 4. So I can go up to stitch 4. It's telling me, make sure I have the presser foot A on, and it's giving me the optimal stitch width and stitch length for that stitch.
Great.
I can use the stop start button, or I can use the foot pedal. So if you have any dexterity issues or, you know, sore legs or feet, you don't want to use the foot pedal, or you want to stand and sew like a standing desk, you can do that. And because I'm on a big straightaway here, I can turn it right up full speed.
Get that baby going.
And you know what? This is very sticky nylon. You know, these are materials not like, you know, just easy cotton. It's going through this no problem, regular needle, regular thread. So I want you to think about all of the things, yes, you might be creative and make, but also the projects that you're going to be able to get done around the house when you've got a machine in the house that is capable of whatever project you throw at it. And that's what I love about the Janome. No matter what you're sewing, it's going to be able to do it.
Okay, guys, so here's what I want you to do. Now, a little trick. A lot of people, and by the way, a couple things are happening. We have $7.50. That's all you're going to pay all day long for shipping, and we reduced the shipping on this, which is great. So it's $7.50, which means everything else you buy in crafting today will ship for free. So that's great. So once you hit $7.50, that's all you're going to spend for shipping. Make sure and check out. A lot of people think, oh, I got to fill my cart up first and then check out all at once. No, you check out all day long and our systems will go ahead and adjust that shipping for you automatically. Why do you want to check out right now? Because if we start to run out of these, and by the way, we don't have a lot of these. I was kind of surprised for today's special how few we have. We don't have a lot. If you check out now, you're guaranteed to get it. If someone else is checking out and we need it, it'll be taken out of your cart and moved into the person who's actively checking out. I've had that happen to me about 9 months ago, so don't let that happen to you. Go ahead and finish the process. You just keep ordering, keep checking out all day long in our big crafting event. Why do you want this? It's Janome. They are globally one of the true pioneers and one of the very best in the business. Why do we want this? Because you could be an absolute beginner, or maybe you say, I've got an old machine and I really want to do so much more. This is not intimidating because they've taken all the worry out. When they do, I used to have to try to figure out the width and the length, and oh my goodness, I think that's what turned me off of trying different things. Am I a straight stitcher? You bet. I'm probably the best at it. But after that, I kind of went, and I didn't really enjoy it. This is making it all simple and easy. You can do the monogramming, which takes you to that next level of personalization. It's a fun machine, and with 5 Flex, and we have VIP financing, it's a good time to get a new machine. Maybe you've got an old one, maybe you've got a borrowed one, maybe someone gave you one years ago, and it's just sitting there collecting dust because it's too complicated. Everything, even from threading this, is easy.
It's very easy to thread. In fact, it comes with an automatic needle threader.
The angels just sang on that one.
Yes, there's an automatic needle threader right at the edge of the machine here. You just pull it down, loop the thread through, and it pulls right through the back, and you've got an automatic needle threader, and it pops right back up when you're finished. I wanted to take you through, I finished that sticky vinyl net without changing the needle, the foot, or the thread. I'm moving right on to quilting some squares.
That's great.
So if you were wanting to do something like make a quilt, and maybe you're wondering, how do I even start? I'd always wanted to make a quilt. Quilts are just one square sewn to another square, and then you just keep on going. And what I love about this machine is being able to get that accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance, because that's what you need in quilting. So without really changing much, you talked about being queen of the straight stitch. Quilting's all about the straight stitch. So I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna make sure I'm in mode 1, because that's where all my practical stitches are. So I'm just gonna toggle down to stitch 00, that's the straight stitch, and it's automatically choosing the optimal stitch width and stitch length. But I wanna show you something. When you're on a straight stitch and you press the stitch width, it's gonna move the needle over for you. So when you are wanting to get that exact 1/4 inch seam allowance, you can move the needle over to exactly where you need it to be, and then we can start with that seam. And that's gonna help you keep your seams nice and accurate. And if you need to go a little slower because you're just getting started, that's what you can do with that speed control. And when you're building a quilt, you're just taking square after square and then bringing in your next one. And I want to show you how good these feed dogs are, because I'm not even having to stop before I bring the next set up to underneath the needle.
Right.
You know, these are sort of some of the things that we take for granted about the Janome machine. We kind of think, oh, it's a sewing machine, it sews. But you know, I heard someone backstage say, oh, my machine, my fabric's always getting bunched up and stuck underneath the needle. Well, that's because Janome has installed a 7-point feed dog system. The feed dogs, it's a technical term, but they're the little teeth that are pulling in. So without even having to lift the presser foot, look at this. It's pulling that thread in without me even having to lift up the presser foot. That's because they're all metal, superior quality feed dogs. They're pulling that fabric through the system perfectly straight. So if you're kind of thinking, oh, I can't even sew straight, that might not be you. Right. It may be how those feed dogs are installed on your old machine or on your big box store machine. These are all metal parts, and it really does make a difference. So while I'm feeding these in one square at a time, 2 by 2, we'll start building up, but you can be making those kinds of heirlooms. You know, these are the kinds of things, like I love all the crafting, you know, the card making and the scrapbooking. But cards and scrapbooks aren't heirlooms in the same way something like, look at this, I brought with me. So I made this a little while ago out of, and you could be doing it out of concert t-shirts, out of, you know, your favorite, you know, bands or whatever. But these are just all my son's hockey jerseys. How cute is this? Just upcycling. And you know what? This is only going to mean
it's actually an easy project, believe it or not.
It's just straight stitching, you know what I mean? But this is the kind of thing that no one else on earth would love this except for him. Every one of these teams really means something to him. But when you can be queen of the straight stitch, right?
Exactly.
You can be creating an heirloom like this, something that, you know, maybe a kid in your life or the athlete, or maybe their dance jackets or concert t-shirts.
Here's what's interesting, for years and years to do this, I kept all of my son's shirts from all of his events, all the camps he went to, and sports and all that stuff. But I didn't want to do it myself, and I spent several $100s sending them all away and had it made for me. I would have saved so much money.
You probably spend more than this machine on getting that one quilt made.
Yeah, one quilt made. And now does he love it? Absolutely. It's like his favorite little quilt.
Yep.
It's got all these amazing memories for him, all these wonderful moments in his life. But I spent a fortune on it, and it was worth it for the experience of seeing him so excited about it, knowing that when he's 90 and he's showing his grandkids his quilt. Oh yeah, I used to do. I mean, that is worth its weight in gold. But why not do it yourself when you can? The problem is if you've got an old machine that's not computerized, it's not going to be easy. That's why we avoid these projects. This Janome is really designed to make sewing easy, to make it adventurous, to make it fun, to take you from here to here. You know what I mean? To do things that you didn't think were possible. If you're a beginner, oh my gosh, please Lord, grab this machine while we have it. It is brilliant because you won't get turned off from sewing by using an antiquated system. Also, the accuracy that you get on this is so much more superior than machines at this exact same price. Guys, you do not find a computerized machine at this price with all of these features, all the stitches, the monogramming, the personalization. You can't find them at this price. We're so lucky to have this deal tonight for you, and I'm thrilled too because it's a great machine from a great company. Just grab it while you can, while it's available. Please remember there's no post sale on it. Sometimes we extend sales on our Today Special. We will not be offering this after today. We do not have a ton of these. I was actually shocked, Jennifer, at how few we had for the whole day. So I always recommend check out tonight, check out tonight. I know Jen's showing you a ton of great ideas, but make sure you finish the checkout process before the hour is up. I don't want you to miss out on grabbing it.
You want to know why there's so few? Is because these are the kinds of machines that Janome typically sells at a sewing machine dealer. Janome has not gone the way of the big box store. You don't find these machines there. They're sold at sewing machine dealers, and that is by design. It's because they're all metal, high quality, and to be quite honest, they can't sell them cheap enough to even get in the big box stores because they're all metal parts. Wow. So take a deep dive into some of the so cute projects you can be making this summer. Maybe you've got grandkids you're watching, or you just think, oh man, I'd love to be able to just, you know, be creative, use up some scraps of fabric, upcycle, add some texture to my card making, to my scrapbooking, you know, just a little, I mean, beautiful throw pillows. Yeah. You know, the quilt, this is just a quilt block turned into a pillow instead. These are pretty easy patterns. I know you're thinking, oh, how would I ever make that? It's just a straight stitch here and a straight stitch here and a straight stitch here, and suddenly you've got a bee's wing, and you think, oh my gosh, I've made it. How, you know? You know
what I love too? Also, if you go online, there's so many great projects. If you're just starting with a straight stitch, because that's how everybody starts, there's so many cool things you can do. This tote, a whole bunch of straight stitches, okay? Just FYI. It's not like you have to be this brilliant sewer. You will find so many inspiring projects online that show you how to do a ton with just a straight. One of my favorite things, I make eyeglass holders. It's so much fun.
I love those.
I do too. I did a whole video on it, and trust me, I am not a professional sewer, but there's so many things that are out there that you can do easily because of the Janome.
And look at how thick this, I'm gonna end just on this rope bowl, because all this is a big, thick, 1/4 inch cotton rope, like a clothesline. And I wanna just end on showing you, it's gonna be like a hot knife through butter. Off it goes.
Amazing.
And I'm just taking it and zigzagging one side to the next, and you can be making those sort of boutique style gifts, but look at how it just...
How much would you spend for a bowl like this? They sell them for a fortune in the stores.
And you could be, it could be the base of a gift basket that you're giving someone with a homemade card. And I just wanted to show you how it just goes through that super thick rope. So I don't want you to think that you're getting something that's like, you know, Janome is all they make is sewing machines. That's what they specialize in. And they're meant to go through almost everything.
Thank you, my love. We'll see you throughout the day.
Sounds good.
All right, so stay right there, guys. We have a lot going on today. First off, $7.50. That's all you're gonna pay to ship all your crafts today. So go ahead and check out, get everything ordered